Well, hey, good to see you again. It's another day in the office, and here I am working away on a number of apps, and also recently delivered a project finally for the Australian government with the help of an agency. So that's been great. And that one was about the, it was a site to help young teenagers learn about how video games can impact your behavior when they use kind of like these freemium kind of like a gambling casino style tactics. And that's what I wanted to talk about was kind of like the hole that the video games have kind of fallen into. I mean, really, we talk about building video games as a technology, and I've always loved the idea of building a video game. I've been in the industry on and off. Like I was in for about 13 years, then off and on and off, and then working with a few people. And then recently, I took on a contract to work to help develop a site to inform people about the dangers of these kind of game mechanics. And essentially, it's like a quiz, right? So I built this React site. It was a quiz, and it was pretty easy to build. React is actually quite good these days. I was a bit concerned that it was going to be a bit of a headache, but I actually thoroughly enjoyed it and found it pretty easy to build quiz game in React, as you kind of would. And so I guess I wanted to talk more about less about the actual tech of React, but more about video games and the technology behind the freemium type of games. And by technology, it's more about the kind of the things that these games use to keep you playing, keep you spending. And I think for me, as a developer, it's easy for me to say now because I don't need to work right on in video games. But I would never work on a freemium game again. I think the kind of incentivization of gambling and these kind of gachapon mechanics, these kind of pay to play mechanics, they kind of they reinforce the user to want to spend more and more and more. And it really for a game that it's a casino, right? It's like a pokie machine. You put in some coins and something happens. And that's not what video games to me were ever about. A game is to have fun, right? A game is a number of players. You go into a game and you have fun and you play. And you shouldn't be distracted from the actual game by a casino. Now, I know you have games like poker where you kind of play and there's chance involved. But for me, it was always about the interaction with, I guess, a video game where it was less about the money and more about the experience and the story. And what I found is so much of the industry during that freemium period took away from that point, like of having a good story and having good gameplay. And I'm glad to see that that whole freemium model is really fading away and the reality of how just detrimental it is both to the games industry and also to users. So I guess if you do see these games, I can't recommend them, and I wish like there are a few that I know of that actually make the effort to create a game that allows you to play without having to spend and actually add stories. And I've been very grateful to actually having worked on one of those few games where it's not just about click 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 play, spend spend spend. Um, it's I'm not going to name names or anything like that, but I've been fortunate enough to have worked on various games, and one of them has been like a kind of a freemium game that did have the story elements, but you did still spend if you wanted to. I guess at the end of the day, freemium games have to make money somehow, right? Which is where I think a subscription model is just so much better. If you can offer users good value for a premium style game where you keep introducing new content, and that's where the subscription comes from. I guess like World of Warcraft being a prime example. I think from everything from the beginning to the end, that is the best model. It's the best model for delivery. If you can, deliver those features and have enough users to play the game, it scales well. You don't have to pay an upfront a fee. You can make the kind of subscription pretty reasonable and deliver video game features ongoing. And you can also launch it. And then if it doesn't really succeed, you don't necessarily have to continue developing new content, right? But you should, I think, it'd be still good to support the existing users, and if issues come up, have them fixed. And that can be covered by the subscription costs if users decide to stay after the development or growth period of the game is finished. So I had a lot of topics to discuss. There's two more to go, right? The second one is we got two. We got with one about the process of learning a new language, and also AI, not as a separate and like independent entity like a human, but as an organism that we're part of. I know I've talked a little bit about both, but I want to delve into those topics a bit more at the next video. So guys, again, thanks for sticking around and listening. I really hope you have a good day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.